There was roughly 10 to 12,000 screaming fans that packed this green Saturday morning in preparation for the huge game that occurred on ABC. Since the Mountaineers entered the Big 12 back in the 2011-2012 season, they've had 14 wins and 23 losses in conference play. That's going to need to change if they want a shot at the NCAA tournament. I'm standing here at the Life Sciences building where the old Mountaineer field used to be. The last game played here was in 1979. Here at Milan Puskar Stadium, the capacity is nearly double, which makes for a way better game atmosphere for fans to enjoy. That's not the only stat Bevan cares about. When he's not passing to teammates on the field, he's passing in the classroom. Bevan has been able to maintain a 3.94 GPA while here at West Virginia University. He's been on the President's List 3 times and the Dean's List once. Basketball season has arrived. I'm Jimmy Zito, and coming up next on WVU News, I'm going to preview the upcoming season. Game days in town. I'm Jimmy Zito, and coming up this week on WVU News, I'll tell you what the preparation's like leading up to the big show. I'm Jimmy Zito, and coming up next week on WVU News, I'll tell you how a men's soccer player has so much success on and off the field. I'm Jimmy Zito, and straight ahead on WVU News, I'll tell you why being a die-hard Mountaineer fan is so special. Well, Kylie, the WVU men's basketball team is preparing to play 29 games this season against some top teams like the Kansas Jayhawks and the Texas Longhorns. On average, more than 8,000 fans attend a WVU men's basketball game, and players need to keep up their victories in order to keep the seats filled. 17 players are on the roster this year, and I had a chance to see what some of those players have in store for the season. Take a look.
Now let's roll out the carpet and bring on the Mountaineers.
Winter is approaching, and that means time for basketball season. The WVU men's team is looking forward to bounce back after a disappointing year in 2014 with an overall record of 17-16. Newcomer Daxter Miles Jr. is excited about the depth the team brings this season.
I feel good about this season and about the team. We got a lot of guys.
Despite losing some key players due to them transferring schools, the Mountaineers still have players that can contribute. And Coach Bob Huggins says it's a team game, and there's no guarantees of a starting 5 just yet.
That's what I talk to our guys about all the time. It's not about it's about us, and I don't have one.
Senior guard and newly appointed captain Gary Brown says that none of the guys are worried about starting. They just want to win.
I mean, well, we don't worry about that. We just worry about everybody playing hard and doing what we ask them to do.
Big 12 preseason player of the year, Juwan Staten, will play a key role in the success that the Mountaineers have this season. He averaged 18 points and 5 assists last year. With the ball in Staten's hands every trip up the court, the Mountaineers will have a shot against anybody in the Big 12.
Since the Mountaineers entered the Big 12 back in the 2011-2012 season, they've had 14 wins and 23 losses in conference play. That's going to need to change if they want a shot at the NCAA tournament.
The Mountaineers have started the season with a 2-0 record and are preparing to go overseas for the Puerto Rico tip-off tournament.
The Mountaineers are starting the season off strong, defeating the Monmouth Hawks 64-54 and the Lafayette Leopards 83-56. That's it for sports. Kylie and Whitley, back to you. Well, Whitley, about 50% of the student body are not West Virginia residents, and WVU's Alumni Association has around 200,000 members in about 60 countries worldwide. There are Mountaineer fans all over the world, but I learned that you don't necessarily have to be a WVU student or alumni to become a part of the Mountaineer family.
Mountaineer football fans have been around for about 90 years. And as a fan of WVU, there's a special bond that everyone shares. Die-hard fan David Barr explains why the Mountaineers are so special to him.
Born and raised in West Virginia, and even though I didn't attend West Virginia University, just proud of my home team and always will.
Fans gather around before kickoff to tailgate. They enjoy great food and drink and get to spend quality time with their friends and family. Passionate WVU fan Bob Cord talks about when he would attend games as a child.
Going to games since my dad would take me as a kid, back in the $1 student ticket days, where you sat in a bowl, sit anywhere you wanted for $1.
Mountaineer fans have grown over the years. The game day experience now includes a gold rush, stripe the stadium, and a Mountaineer man trip for the fans to enjoy.
And of course, the after-game song Country Roads by John Denver has a special spot in every fan's heart. Currently, the football team is 5-2 after a big win over Baylor. While WVU football is recognized throughout the nation, a lesser-known sport is bringing home national titles. WVU's rifle team has won 2 back-to-back championships and is looking to bring home a third. In addition to national championships, WVU has produced 16 All-Americans and 13 Olympians. WVU currently has 4 international students on the team and is using their past successes as motivation. Championships aren't until February, but you can check out when their next match is on WVUsports.com. Kylie and Whitley, back to you. Thanks, Whitley. This season, the Mountaineers are playing better than they have in recent years. In fact, their playing is attracting more national attention this fall. Recently, one popular ESPN show came to town. College Game Day started back in 1987, but it wasn't until 1993 when they started incorporating live broadcasting. I had a chance to check out the week of game day preparations. Take a look.
College Game Day, live from Morgantown, West Virginia.
College Game Day is a 180-minute pregame show on Saturday mornings from 9 to 12 p.m., and they recently came to Morgantown, West Virginia for their matchup against the 10th-ranked TCU Horned Frogs. Game Day started back in 1987 and is considered one of the most popular shows ESPN has to offer today. Students began camping out when the news first broke. It became extremely contagious that there was 281 tents, and students were calling it Tent City, which began trending on Twitter. I got a chance to speak with a few campers about what game day means for this university.
It kind of brings us together and makes us more of a family.
We get a chance to showcase our city and the great students we have.
We have a week together, so it's kind of a good bonding time for us students.
I think everyone's going to be very positive, and we're going to have a good time.
We're also close to the community that all it takes is one person to spark an interest, and everybody kind of jumps on it.
The students weren't the only ones showing enthusiasm. Michael Garcia, the newly appointed Mountaineer, was fired up during the week leading up to game day.
This Saturday, everyone's going to be watching Morgantown. Everyone's going to see the craziness of our fans, but they're also going to see how awesome we are and how respectful we can be.
The game day crew arrived 3 days before the show took place. The reason for the early arrival is because there was so much that the staff needed to set up in order for game day to run smoothly. The host of game day, Chris Fowler, explained how great he thought the turnout was at Mountaineer Plaza throughout the week.
To see this army of tent people that have been here since Sunday, that's not the norm. That's not what we see every week, so it's very flattering.
College Game Day ended up being an unbelievable experience for not only the university, but the state of West Virginia as a whole.
There was roughly 10 to 12,000 screaming fans that packed this green Saturday morning in preparation for the huge game that occurred on ABC.
The Mountaineers lost to TCU 31-30 in a barn burner, but that does not take away from the great atmosphere that Morgantown displayed throughout the week.
The Mountaineers will make the trip to Austin on Saturday, November 8th to take on the Texas Longhorns. The Mountaineer not only acts as a WVU mascot, but a respected public figure as well, and has led the school since 1937. The Mountaineer is one of a few college mascots that reveals their true identity, and this year Fairmont native Michael Garcia is representing the old gold and blue. The Mountaineer must attend all home and away football games, all men's and women's basketball games, and makes about 300 public appearances during the school year. In addition to the busy schedule, the Mountaineer is responsible for maintaining his buckskins and musket, which he alone is allowed to shoot. Kylie and Whitley, back to you. Thanks, Kylie and Whitley. There are currently 17 varsity sports with roughly 500 student athletes at WVU. WVU men's soccer team is ranked 3rd in the Mid-American Conference. With their demanding commitment, they have little time to focus on class. But one player is making it work.
WVU senior forward Andy Bevan has been on Morgantown's campus for 3.5 years. He came all the way from Napier, New Zealand, where he was a 4-year starter for Napier Boys High.
Early August, I went straight from Columbia right to Morgantown, a place I'd never been to before, never seen any pictures of it.
During his freshman season, Bevan was named to the All Big East rookie team and started in all 20 games the Mountaineers played that season.
I'm the most experienced player, both in the past and both in minutes for WVU, so I'm like, I should probably be the right candidate for the job, and I could teach a lot of the boys a lot of things and lead by example.
That's not the only stat Bevan cares about. When he's not passing to teammates on the field, he's passing in the classroom. Bevan has been able to maintain a 3.94 GPA while here at West Virginia University. He's been on the President's List 3 times and the Dean's List once.
WVU Athletic Director Oliver Luck explains how Bevan's leadership is so vital to the team's success.
He's a guy who's performed, very well on the field and very well academically. All-around good, solid kid. And I think, you want those kind of kids to do well in leadership roles. And, of course, just being named a captain is really a feather in his cap. But it's an indication of the kind of person that he is.
So far in 4 games this season, Bevan has a total of 3 goals and 5 assists. You can watch Bevan and the rest of the WVU men's soccer team all season at Dick Delick Stadium.
In 2007, WVU built an athletic academic performance center in the Coliseum. The center cost over $1 million and provides a quiet place for athletes to study. Kylie and Whitley, back to you. Lamprini Constantinidou came all the way from Greece to play for WVU. Lamprini is starting in every game and averages about 50 points per contest. Lamprini gained a lot of her experience from the Greece senior national team and has her family supporting her from across seas. Our sports reporter Nicole Curtin had a chance to catch up with the star athlete and learn how she got where she is today. You can check out Lamprini and the rest of the girls volleyball team on WVUsports.com. You can also follow them on Twitter. And more good news in the athletic department, Milan Puskar Stadium is getting a facelift along with the Coliseum.